No one cares more about the future of Walker County than the Bank of LaFayette. At the Bank of LaFayette, our goal is to meet all of the banking needs of Walker County and to exceed your highest expectations of what a bank can do for you. At the Bank of LaFayette, we are working hard to reverse the current trend in banking. We want to take control out of the hands of corporate America and put it back in the hands of local people where it belongs. The Bank of LaFayette is owned and operated by local businessmen and women who live right here in this community. Local investors who have made a long-term commitment to the future of Walker County and the people who live here.
We're people here for you. Helping people is our favorite thing to do.
Bank with confidence at the Bank of Lafayette. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
Community National Bank, steady, strong, common sense lenders. Community National Bank is well run, highly capitalized. Community minded, their common sense leaders are focused on doing what is best for their customers and their communities. Visit one of their convenient locations, Community National Bank, banking made easier. They're a member of FDIC. They're an equal housing lender at Community National Bank.
Bill, you're here, do you want to propose?
Yeah. Well, folks, for the first time in about 5 years, got some very good news. Let me just go right to the bottom line, and then I'll answer any questions. Last year ended up being a tough year. We had several large claims. However, in working with reinsurance carriers and kind of beating them up right here at the last, we ended up with a minus 3%. So it actually went down 3% from last year. Now, this is at a time when the trend now is 8 to 11%. In other words, supposedly if you didn't have any more claims than you had last year, it would go up 11% is what the industry's doing, anywhere from 8 to 11%. So we ended up with a great year. I gave you a little narrative. I won't go through all the narrative because I think the greatest news is down 3% instead of up this year. We did take it out to several carriers just to kind of get an honesty check. We had several who declined to quote. We had one that did quote, which was Blue Cross Blue Shield. Blue Cross, we asked them to bid two ways. One on a partially self-insured plan, which is what the city has right now, and then one on a regular insured plan. And on the chart on the back, you can see this on the regular, on the identical plan like we have in place right now, they actually went up 7.2%. So, you know, there's about a 10% difference if we did that. Now, on the fully insured, they actually went down 5%. And we were down 3%. So there's a 2-point spread there. There's a couple of things to consider. One is that with a fully insured plan, when you get a bill, you just got to pay it. Whatever it is, you got to write a check for it at the time. or they just cancel the coverage. Where we are right now, we've got, and I think Brenda could attest to this, we've got the flexibility of being able to move the money around when we need to and have to and that sort of thing. So I'm not sure, based on what I've seen, that the 2% would be worth kind of exposing ourselves to the lack of being able to manage the money. So Brent, I don't put you on the spot, but if you got any comments about the flexibility in terms of being able to pay?
Yeah, well, you're right, we can hold a check run if we need to, and pay when the funds come in. We do that sometimes.
So I think the combination, frankly, of the clinic and the partial self-funded has really caught on. I think that this year especially, I've just not seen anybody without some rate increases. The new healthcare law is just killing everybody. Insurance carriers in general are taking advantage of the new healthcare law to say, we're gonna have to do some things next year, we don't know what it's gonna cost, we're gonna go ahead and give you a rate increase, and we'll just have to see how that turns out. So, I gotta tell you, I was ecstatic when Debbie and I finally got through negotiating with HCC on the reinsurance. And so that's kind of where we are.
So we're looking at column G, is what we're looking at, correct?
Well, I really don't recommend column G. Here's the difference. We got two. If you look at F and G,
D's current.
well, current, D, that is correct. D is where we are right this minute. F is, we stay exactly where we are. We don't have to do any plan changes, don't have to mess with anything, and we get a 3% reduction.
Okay.
G is kind of a little bit of a gamble on the money. G is a $60,000 specific deductible instead of the 50.
Right.
You see up there, line 4?
Yes, sir.
All right, we can save some fixed costs. By doing that, we can save about $44,000 of fixed costs by doing that. That represents 4 claims. And honestly, the way y'all's claims have been for the last 4 years, if it was my business, I wouldn't take that chance. I mean, maybe a couple of years from now, we got some more behind us and we can really see, but I would,
The loss limit for individual costs $10,000.
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if I had 4 claims, I'd eat up that 40,000, I'd say, for the year. And that's why I would.
I see what you're saying. That's what I'm about to.
Well, I'm glad to hear that there is a 3% decline, because I was hearing rumors it's gonna be 7 to 11% increase and everything, so.
We met a few
Very
months
glad
ago.
with this.
Yeah, well, we met a few, I say a few months ago, well, we met a few weeks ago. We hadn't gotten anything back, and I said, if I were you, and if I'm preparing the budget, I'd look somewhere from 7 to 11%, just figured because that's what the industry's doing right now. And we got this back, and I thought, well, for the first time in a while.
Appreciate you working with us.
In a
First time
while.
I've been happy to use this adventure.
It's the first time I've seen you smile in about 4 years.
That's helpful.
You use the expression self-insured, is that appropriate?
Partially self-insured.
Partially, okay.
Because we just pay up to a certain amount, and the insurance company's got all the liability after that. It gives us, so here's the other thing, it's the first time, really in 5 years, we hadn't had to sit down around the table and figure out whether we had to cut benefits, did we have to increase premiums, what was the deal, so we can stay exactly like we are.
What is the total annual fixed cost? What does that consist of? Because it went up 24,000.
It did, the fixed cost is the premium, ours hadn't changed in
5 years.
5 years.
Put that down in there. See, give me a hard time here. No, ours hasn't changed in 5 years. It's the cost of the insurance piece. But what we did on the maximum liability is the attachment point, which is the maximum we can pay out, actually went down. So even though the fixed cost went up a little bit, the overall liability went down. So we kind of swap out some of that.
You said the maximum annual liability went down. That's not what the chart shows it actually went up about 30,000.
Well, take a look at.
And I may be looking at it.
Our estimated, no, look at line 44, maximum annual liability.
Right.
Last year was $1,659,000, this year is
Okay.
$1,620,000.
That's the expected claim.
Right. You scared me, I thought.
Explain your 45 to me. Estimated incurred but not paid. In English.
Oh, okay.
That's just.
Well, here's, your current plan takes care of that, because your current plan doesn't care when it was incurred. In other words, that's when I went to the doctor, and went to the hospital and had a claim, so I incurred the expense. And so your plan here just your plan just continues on out. When somebody new comes in, there's a contingency for them, because they only accept any liability from that date forward. And so based on, Debbie ran all the numbers, and based on your numbers, on average, for that run-in, we've got about $319,000 that has been incurred, but not actually paid yet.
Does our policy cover people who have incurred disability of some kind and come to us, we pay for that?
Yeah, in other words, if they have a pre-existing condition.
Pre-existing condition.
Yeah, that's the federal rules, and
Yes.
we're on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
More questions?
I'll make a motion to accept this plan.
I'll second that. Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by raising your hand.
Okay, we'll go to item 2, which is,
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Amended budget, which we had to do in August. So we have a motion then to pass that amended budget. I make a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion on that? All those in favor, signify by raising your hand. Okay, so then we look at the 2012 proposed budget. And it is balanced. There may be some issues that we will have to go back and look at during the year. We're looking at a budget of $21,329,000. Balanced according to state law. So can we have a motion then that we approve?
I make a proposal for this budget.
Is there a second? I'll second. Any discussion?
Remember the term proposed.
That's right. Budget, that's about all I can tell you, because we always go through till January, February, and have to go back and redo it. So
This time of year.
Right. Any further questions on this? All those in favor, signify by raising your hand. Okay. we have decided on our next city manager to take effect October the 10th. We'll approve him at that meeting because it has to be from the time that it's publicly announced until the time that we actually vote on him, 14 days. So that's going to put us in that time frame. He was city manager at Pembroke. His name is Franklin T. Etheridge. And we actually interviewed him twice, so I think that we feel pretty comfortable with him. I have copies of his resume, but I just want to announce that because there's no official action they can take on that right now, other than that you don't know who it's going to be. Now, next item. We have a resignation from Johnny Arnold, our current city manager. I hereby resign as city manager from my employment with the city of LaFayette, Georgia, effective October the 10th, 2011. So we need a motion then to accept this resignation. Effective October 10th.
Make a motion to accept the resignation.
I'll say.
Any discussion on this? So we are having one resign, one take over, we'll take that. All those in favor, signify by raising your hand. Okay. One more item then that we have to do. During this whole process, we have come to realize that in our daily operations, all of our checking accounts require, or most of our checking accounts require 2 signatures. So in the process of looking at this, we need to have a motion to allow the mayor, we'll put the mayor in there, to sign checks as necessary, either in the absence of the city manager or the city clerk, if that were to happen, so that we would have that in place, so that we would not stop any day-to-day operations of the city. In case any checks have to be signed.
I make a motion to allow the mayor to sign the check. I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by raising your hand. She's got her report down here, but on the side of that. I appreciate everyone's patience with this process. I know it's been an arduous thing. So, motion to go into executive session.
I'll say.
Did Mr. Arnold leave with any benefits, or did he just leave, period?
He will get his vacation pay, he will get, health benefits through the end of
Whichever
October.
way it started.
Well, the last meeting, it was gonna take possibly the new city manager and him to get this budget together. You come up with this budget proposal in 2 weeks, and he wasn't here 1 week.
He's been working on it for 2 months.
2 months. Yeah, he was just gonna go over with it. The department heads have to turn in that
couple of months ago, so he's been working on it.
Is the budget a lot more than last year or less?
Should be just a little less.
Is Miss Green gonna receive benefits?
Can't say anything about her personnel. Okay. Motion to go into executive session, you'll all rise,
A motion to create a position in the city as a IT manager. And appoint Scott Underwood, who is already doing this position. He does all of our IT cameras, computer work, all of our software, hardware, anything that we do in the city. And he is, I think, still labeled as being under the rec department. We need to align that correctly. So put it under administration as IT manager. When the new city manager comes in, we'll let him look at that position.
there's a second.
I second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by raising your hand. If there's no further business, then we're adjourned. Thank you very much.
So maybe he's not on the work.
Right, he hasn't. He hasn't. He's just never realigned.
Still been good.
Mr. Mayor?
How are you doing,
Unless there is some major incident that we need him for, he is still helping with incidents that we might need him for.